The Shadow of Judas. The walk into the garden. The descent begins. Episode 4.
The night was heavy, not silent, but restless. Torches flickered in the distance. Metal brushed against metal. Footsteps moved with quiet urgency. Something was unfolding. Something that could no longer be stopped. 2 days earlier, doubt had begun to form. Silver had already exchanged hands. But now, the shadow was no longer inside the heart alone. It was walking, breathing, moving through the night. At the front of the procession, Judas walked. Not as a disciple, not as a follower, but as the one who knew the way. The way to the garden.
This channel is dedicated to restoring and protecting the soul of the human heart. If this message speaks to you, please kindly consider liking and subscribing.
The place where Jesus often prayed. Each step forward felt heavier than the last. The pouch of silver struck softly against his side. Thud, thud, thud. Like the heartbeat of a decision that could no longer be undone. Inside him, two voices wrestled in silence.
Is this destiny or betrayal? Is this God's will or my own shadow?
No answer came. Only the sound of soldiers walking beside him and the growing darkness ahead. And somewhere beyond the trees, Jesus was waiting. Calm, silent, already knowing. The walk into the garden had begun. And this was no longer the shadow of thought, but the shadow of action. And this is where the night begins to break. The descent into his own shadow. Judas walked at the front, not because he wished to lead, but because no one else knew the way. To the place where Jesus prayed in the dark. His cloak hung heavy on his shoulders, weighed down by damp air, and by the pouch of silver thudding at his side. Thud after thud, like the heartbeat of a curse he could not outrun. Every step forward felt wrong. Every step felt like dragging iron chains behind him. Inside his chest, a war raged, violent and relentless.
I hand over my master. Or am I fulfilling something greater? Could the Father be guiding me? Could this be destiny, not betrayal? But another thought struck deeper. If this is divine, why do I feel hollow? Why does I feel as though I have murdered myself before ever touching him?
He tried to steady his breathing, but the soldiers beside him made it worse. Torches hissed. Armor glinted. Swords caught the firelight, like hungry teeth. Perhaps he forced himself to think, they will only question him, bind him, confront him, And then yes, perhaps he will finally reveal his power. Call down angels. Split the sky. Show the world the Messiah I believed him to be. Perhaps this is how the kingdom begins. But another voice rose, cold, merciless, honest.
No, Judas. You know what you have done. You have delivered him, sold him, like livestock, like a criminal, as if he meant nothing. His throat tightened painfully. You have betrayed the only one who ever looked at you with love.
The olive grove appeared ahead. Trees twisted like ancient black hands, reaching from the earth, as if to stop him. Their shadows crawled across the ground, warnings he refused to obey. A bitter wind swept through, carrying the sharp scent of crushed olives. Metallic, stinging, strangely like blood. His thoughts fractured.
God, what have I done? What if this is not holy will, but my own ruin? What if I am not an instrument, only a traitor walking toward the judgment of my own soul?
No answer came. Only silence. The suffocating silence of guilt that grows louder the longer you listen. His hand slipped to the pouch of silver. The coins clinked. Cruel, mocking laughter.
Is this it? This? 30 pieces of silver? The price of my soul? A slave's wage? And I have given up the master for this?
His stomach twisted. His lips trembled as he practiced the sign. A kiss. A simple kiss on the cheek. A greeting disciples used every day. Nothing more. Yet the thought of it burned inside him, like a brand pressed against his tongue. He did not know what the priests truly intended. He never saw the cross rising in their minds. He never saw the nails already forged and waiting for morning. He imagined a cell, a trial, perhaps a beating, but not death. Never death. And still, he walked. Step after step. Shadow after shadow. When he reached the grove, he stopped. The air felt heavier here. The night seemed to hold its breath. And then, he saw him. Jesus. Standing in the quiet. Calm. Unmoving. Eyes holding a fire that did not burn. And a mercy that did. Judas froze. His heart cracked clean through.
He knows. He has always known. And still, he waits for me.
Jesus lifted his eyes toward heaven and wept. The tears did not fall gently. They broke from him, quiet and unstoppable. The hour has come. The shadows have arrived. and I must walk into them. And this is where the garden becomes the doorway to the cross. The night holds its breath.
The hour. The hour has come.
And this is where the story continues. The story of the Shadow of Judas continues. The kiss in the garden, where love meets betrayal in one breath. Episode 5. This channel is dedicated to restoring and protecting the soul of the human heart. If this message speaks to you, please kindly consider liking and subscribing. Thank you very much for watching.